Ladies and gentlemen, in the last episode, I gave a tour of my castle up on the mountain. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you go watch that video. But for the time being, we've got a really big bit of terraforming right here that needs to get done. So let's do what we always do here on the channel and roll that intro time lapse. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this time the intro time-lapse is more of a mega intro time-lapse because I got really carried away. I got so much terraforming to do in my world that I just felt I needed a head start, and we got so much to get done before the world tour, as I mentioned all the time pretty much. So I'm really glad that I got a lot done in this one. But I'd really like to ask you guys how you feel about these intro time-lapses. Should I have them in the intro? Do you feel like I should put them later in the video? Just give me your general thoughts on the intro time-lapses. I'd love to know, honestly. As you guys know, I try to get as much done in these videos as possible. I really want to give you guys a lot of content to watch and not water down a bunch of small things that don't really matter. And before we move on to working on any other areas in the world here, I really want to focus on Ventia, which of course means that we're going to be doing tons and tons of terraforming, so this is kind of necessary. So any thoughts on how you want to see this terraforming content is greatly appreciated. Another thing that's greatly appreciated is if you leave a like on this video if you enjoy it, because you guys are always great at leaving likes and engagement, and it really makes me happy and helps me out a lot. One option I have, and one thing that some people have actually been asking me for, is if I'm going to be streaming this project. So if you'd be interested in seeing me do this terraforming on stream, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I'm totally down to do it, and it would definitely help to know that people are out there who want to see it. But hey, as of this time-lapse, I think I have about 90% of the terrain that I want to get done before the world tour planned out, so in the coming episodes, I just need to fill in the stone and maybe a little bit of dirt. And as long as you guys don't mind, I think I'm going to be doing these terraforming intros in most of my videos just to get a lot of the terrain done for Ventia overall. Because we still got to connect all the sides of what already exists to the natural terrain. Right now, everything's pretty much a floating mess, so we got a lot of work to do. But for now, I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of this mega lapse, and I will see you on the other side. All right, ladies and gents, here we are. The grass is still growing over here, but overall, I think we made a lot of decent progress. In fact, a nice little consequence of what we're doing here is that this is going to be a natural little lake, so this will be coming all the way around, and I have some good plans for some farms we're going to be putting right here. But this will just add to the scenery, and we don't have to do too much work, so that's awesome. Now, I want to show you guys something I didn't have time to show you in the last video, and that's if we come under here. This is, of course, what it looks like under my hollow mountain here, and we got to build a ton of stuff, but I've been letting my iron farm tick along while I was building the interior for my castle, and we've got a lot of iron ingots on both sides here. But I did craft up all the iron into blocks that I got while doing the interiors, and I think I got way over an entire shulker box of blocks of iron. And if we grab my gold box here from my ender chest, you can see that we have even more. I'm out of gold, though, because I've been using the bartering farm a lot. But that's pretty crazy, and at least we have enough hoppers to build the automatic storage room pretty soon, so that's awesome. I've also slowly but surely been moving the poppies from over there into these little composter farms right here and turning them into some bone meal. It would probably be more ideal to have a sorting system right by the iron farm and have them be sorted into these composters immediately, so I'll probably look into doing something like that, automate my world a little bit more. But yeah, I've been lighting up this underside of the terraforming like crazy, and if you guys have any ideas of what we should build down here later down the line, because we can't pass up on building something under here. There is going to be so much space under here when it's all said and done, so leave all the suggestions you can think of down below for what we should build down here, and I will try to get to it. And honestly, I think this is going to be really cool to have this underworld of awesome stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, the title says it all. It's no surprise to you that we're going to be working on the spawn improvement project over here. And we've got a decent head start on our medieval fairgrounds right here with our jousting arena. But today, I'd like to turn my attention over here because this is where the world spawn is. So first of all, we're going to have to find the world spawn. And in Minecraft, you don't really have a set block as a spawn. It's more of a radius, but we just need to find out where that is. And I know it's somewhere right around here, which is why I've kind of flattened it out. And after that, I want to build this tent right here where we have the map of the area and maybe some items for someone who spawns in. Basically, just make it a little bit easier for a new player to find their way and kind of prepare us for the world tour here. So as the sun is setting here, we have the perfect opportunity to just go to bed, set our spawn, and that way we'll know that our bed is our respawn point, and now we can just break it. So now if I die, I shouldn't respawn at my bed, I should respawn by the actual world spawn. Yeah, wish me luck, piggy. Thanks. So I brought this shulker box, so all we gotta do is put all our stuff in here so that we don't have to deal with it sort of exploding everywhere, even our armor, don't forget that. So now all we got to do is try to hit ourselves with some arrows here. This one's coming down hot. Let's see if we can hit ourselves. Ow. This one, I'm feeling good about this one. Here we go. Let's see. We got it. Oh, okay. One more should do the trick. Here we go. Let's see if we can actually do it. Oh, so now when we respawn, we should see where the world spawn is. And it's right here. That's perfect. So let's just dig down right here, and we know that spawn is somewhere in this radius, so this player will spawn in right here on this plains. We also got my player head. Let's see what we look like if we put this on. Guys, I was just at the dentist. My face is a little bit puffy. Okay, don't mind me. Luckily, this means that I've planned out my terraforming correctly and had it slope down into this area where we have the spawn. And now we can take all our stuff back and start working on this. So to build this tent, we're going to need a lot of wool. Luckily, I have a wool farm over here, and I think I want to use the Ventia colors as always for the spawn tent. So that means we just got to pray we have a ton of cyan wool. I used a lot in the last episode for the castle. Okay, we got a little bit right here. Ooh, we got a little bit right here too. This should probably be enough, to be honest. So let's just put this away in this box, and we need to go get some white wool. Luckily for me, I have tons and tons of white wool, and that's because my creeper farm doubles up as a spider farm, so I get tons and tons of string. So let's just come down here and grab some. This scaffolding takes us down all the way to bedrock, and this is where I get all the awesome loot from my creeper farm. Now, hopefully, I've already crafted up a ton of string into wool, and we probably have a chest of it somewhere around here. I certainly seem to have a lot of gunpowder, so we're not running out of that anytime soon. And here we go. We got tons of string. And none of these chests had any crafted up wool, so I think I'll just have to grab all this and start crafting it up. All right, I got one more stack to craft up here, and then we got a full shulker box of wool, so that should probably carry us through this build. Now, for the rest of the materials we need, we can just visit my shulker mess right here of all the materials that I use for building. I need that storage room right now. But over here, we should probably be able to find some dark oak. That's actually exactly what we need. So yeah, let's just go ahead and bring the dark oak. We'll go ahead and bring the spruce too. Okay, I think I gathered up most of the materials I could possibly need for this. I mean, we got way more than we'll need, but it's always good to be over-prepared. So let's not waste any time and roll that time-lapse the way we always do. Oh yeah. To give you guys an idea of what I want to do with this area in the future, what really inspired me is the vibe they have going on in the 4th Harry Potter movie. In the beginning, when they go to the Quidditch tournament, I just think it's awesome with all the tents around and the magical feeling. So we're going to try to recreate something similar, but in my style and with my touch to it. For the spawn tent itself, I went with a pretty simple design, pretty much a cylinder with a pyramid shape on top, but I think it turned out really cool in the end, and I'm very happy with the result. I want to do the decorating of the interior on camera later on in this video with all the details we're going to need for our perfect spawn point. Honestly, this build took me about 40 minutes to put together, which is way less than I usually spend on these builds in these videos. But the main focus of this video is, of course, going to be what's going inside of the tent and why it's so special and why we need to have it at spawn. But since I had so much time left over for this video to build something else, I decided to work a little bit on the surroundings, and as always when I do some landscaping, I got carried away. So I pretty much put together an entire custom lake, which is, I think, the third time I do that on the channel. But this time, I didn't have to build it all the way up in the air and could dig into the ground, and boy, did that save me a lot of time. Basically, my thinking here is you're gonna spawn in, you're gonna see this beautiful lake right in front of you, have the tent behind you, and that should set the peaceful tone we really want to inspire when someone logs into our world here. On screen right now, you're seeing this massive tree that I built as well, and for some reason the replay footage just completely corrupted. It didn't even give me a time. But hey, on my channel, you've probably seen me build trees 100 times over, so that's nothing groundbreaking. There it is. So I started to throw around some flowers. I decided red was my theme, so I went with some tulips, poppies, and the rose bushes, and kind of just threw them around everywhere. But hey, let's take a look at this in first person, so I will see you on the other side. Alright guys, this is what we would see when we spawn in, and honestly, I think this is just perfect for what we need. I'd really love to turn this whole dirt section right here where all the flowers are into a big forest, so just put a bunch of custom trees down. Obviously, this whole spawn area needs a lot more trees, but you know what? It's really coming along, and while we're here, we can actually see right over there where that ground is floating under my stables. Right about up until there is where I want to finish the terraforming before the world tour. So that would mean if you come from this direction, it would actually connect all the way up to there. I think that would be a really good place to stop. And I really hope this area gives you guys a little bit of an indication for what's to come for this area. So that area over there, I probably want to build a few more tents like this one, mix in some trees. Up here on the top part, I think I want to do a bit of a fighting arena. So a little bit more like gladiators fighting than the horse jousting over here. And then in the middle here, I want to build a really cramped market area. It should hopefully look really, really cool, and once it's all done, we'll just put a giant horse race track around the whole thing. Make it a lot like the horse race tracks in The Witcher 3, if you guys have played that game. So basically just have a ton of different checkpoints you need to go through. I think that would be a really cool system, and then you could actually race in-game. But for now, guys, we gotta really add some decorations in here, because if I show you what it looks like in here, well, you're not gonna be massively impressed. So our first order of business is going to have to be to collect up some resources to build with. I already have my inventory full of some stuff, but we should probably go over here and collect a few things we can use to decorate further. So back to my jumbled mess of shulker boxes over here we go. So I think all we got to do is go around and forage for some of the cooler items over here. Okay, so I collected a lot of the things we need in a shulker box here, but the main thing we're going to need, and the thing we really want to relocate into our spawn tent, is the map. Basically, the whole point of the tent is going to be to let people know what they're going to be able to see in the world. So I think it more than makes sense that we just move the map over there entirely. One of the things we're going to have to do is update the map and make some more maps for this lower row, and I think we'll do this row as well to make a 5x5. So let's just take this down and move this jobby. Next up, we're going to need to craft some maps, and the best way to do that is to come over here to the villager trading system and trade ourselves some compasses with one of these guys. This guy seems to trade them, so we're going to need 5 on the bottom and then 4 more, so we're going to need 9 of these compasses. Luckily, I have some paper lying around here from trading with these guys, and let's make some empty maps. Now, this map right here is going to be our frame of reference, so let's try to get on this map. We probably just have to fly right around here, and we should be good to go. So if we just fly a little bit further south here, we should be able to right-click a map. Okay, honestly, I got a little bit lost when making my maps, so let's try to lay this out here and see if we're missing anything. Well, would you look at that? We've mapped out the entire thing, and I gotta say, this fair area is looking really, really cool from above. So now we just gotta move this whole thing in there. And I think our best bet is gonna be putting this map up against the back wall here. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be looking through this window too much, but let's start putting down these shroom lights. We're gonna be placing our item frames on top of these. You know what? I think we want to move these forward one, because that means we're going to be able to expand the map later, because we are going to be building a pretty big kingdom. You know how people say Minecraft has an inventory problem? Well, I've got my inventory full of maps, so I'm certainly feeling it right now. So let's just place down all these item frames, and I'll have to reconstruct the map from here. This is basically going to be like laying a puzzle. I know that this one is the top right corner up here, so we can probably work from there. This one, I think, goes right there. We'll see in the end. This one might go right there. All right, now we just got the final piece to put in, and our map is complete. If this doesn't show the scope of my project, then I don't know what would. All right, now that we got the map in place, we can focus on getting the rest of this place decorated, so let's grab some stuff over here. I was thinking of doing a jungle planks floor, so let's see. We'll craft up some of these. Then we'll just rip out all this grass. As you might be able to guess, I use these stone brick blocks to be able to count my circle out. I mess up dimensions of builds all the time, so counting your builds out like that and actually making sure you get the right dimensions the first try is very, very good. Trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes. Okay, now let's just fill all this in with jungle planks. It should fit right in with the wool, and it should look pretty good. If I were a smarter and a less lazy man, I'd use the build hack of using slabs of these blocks instead to not waste blocks, but honestly, I just can't be bothered to craft them. Okay, now let's put our temporary lighting back in here. Next up here, we're going to want to be conscious about the fact that we're going to be expanding this map later on, so I think we're just going to do dark oak pillars around here. Something like this should be perfect for what we need, and we might not want these right here. Let's see. I can't help but think this needs something a little bit extra. Now that's more like it. Our next order of business in here should be figuring out our structures and all the beams we want to put in here. I think if we just put 4 pillars like this in each of the corners and maybe strip these down, we can work from there. I think I like that, especially with the trapdoors up there hiding the wool. But we need to shift our attention over to these sides over here. We can't just have a beam coming straight down because it'll cover our window right here, so I think if we do something like this where we come down a few blocks at a time, and then if we split our supports like this to both sides, I think that could work quite well. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, so let's make these edges less rough by just putting some stairs in here. That should probably do the trick. Yeah, this is definitely getting there. I think we need a little bit more support up there, so maybe just doing something as simple as adding another stair and a trapdoor in here. Maybe a trapdoor right here, too. Oop, well, not that way. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that. We'll do that on the other side and keep going here. Next up, let's maybe put a little dark oak table in here to mix it up from all that spruce. Put some decorations in here, maybe lush it up a little bit. Let's see, I got some ferns on me, some azure bluettes. They're pretty much my favorite plants to put in these pots, so maybe put one of these here and hold on, let me get some stuff together. What if we put an armor stand right here and then just slap some iron armor on there? What's that gonna look like? Yeah, I think I like that a lot better. Maybe let's put another trapdoor right here, put some trapdoors right here, and we'll probably do the same thing over here. Just put some stairs all the way around. Make this thing look really, really structurally sound. Maybe let's even light this up by hanging some lanterns from the chains right here. That way we can actually start removing these lanterns. Next up, I thought about bringing in some bookshelves over here, so let's just start dotting these in. Bookshelves just add a lot of color and makes your place feel a lot more lived in. Maybe we can even do something a little bit special like this. Hold on, hear me out here. And then we can hide all of this behind some trapdoors. Yeah, but we need some stuff up here too. Hold on. Yeah, I really like that a lot. Let me replicate that on the other side and do the same thing I did over here on this side, and I'll get right back to you guys. All right, I got all this stuff in here now, and I gotta say, it looks pretty awesome. It's getting very cozy in here. And I pretty much did the same thing over here by the door. I just had to alter the dimensions here a little bit to fit this thing. So let's direct our attention this way over here. I'm thinking it's a little bit much to have these diamond blocks showing. Like, the bling is awesome, of course, but we should probably cover them up with these so they just shine through slightly. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. You can't even really see them. We'll try it for now, and then we'll try it without later. So now let's focus on these sections over here. I think we want to do the bookshelf thing again. Bookshelves and maps just really go together, so we'll throw some bookshelves in here. It should probably look pretty good. Yep, I like that. We'll do the same thing over here. Yeah, I think this is looking good. I added a little bit more structural support up there. I think it adds a little bit more interest as you're looking up here in the tent. I tried doing some lighting stuff up there, but honestly, I think it looks a little bit better if it's darker up there and your attention is drawn down here to what we're going to have in the middle. I think this area needs a little bit more lighting, so let's try lighting this up with some candles. The best we can do right now in 1.16 for candles. I can't really decide if I want exposed diamond blocks or not, so you guys are going to have to let me know. I'll leave them like this for now, but yeah, just tell me in the comments what you think. So what I want for the player to see when they come in here is obviously the look at the map over here so you can decide where to go. But I want to put a lectern right here, so let's grab that and write down some things you're going to expect to see in Ventia. I'll surprise you guys with what I put in there. So let's make a little bit of a table right here. I also think ender chests are something you should probably have it spawn. Like if I die and come back here, I'm definitely going to want to look in here and find my spare elytra, which isn't exactly looking so hot at the moment. I'm going to have to go repair that. But at least this way we'll have access to elytra so we can fly back to where we died if we do. Honestly, I think the most bland looking part of this place is the floor at the moment, so let's try to mix in a few of these mushroom blocks. I think this mixes pretty well with this jungle wood, so let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that mixes it up perfectly. It's not too different from the jungle texture, and it adds a little bit of variation, so that's perfect for us. This place is really coming together. We do, however, need one more thing, and we gotta put down somewhere to put our compasses, so I think this will be the perfect place. We'll probably add more of these item frames when we have more lodestone compasses, but for now, let's put the Church of Ventia in there. So as soon as someone spawns in, they can just walk into the tent here and grab themselves a lodestone compass. It'll make a lot more sense when we have more of them, but I'd rather be prepared now to have a place to put them for later. Now, hopefully, we'll have places that are way further away from the map here as well later on. I have big plans for some kingdoms and builds we're going to be doing. But let's just focus on getting Ventia finished first, okay? So for this episode, I think we're finished with this area. We're going to add a lot more to it later, probably some armor that we actually need, replace this with netherite. Basically add in whatever we're going to need if we die and spawn in and need to get our stuff back. But yeah, I'd really love your guys' feedback on what we could add in here and how you feel about the diamonds, and really overall how you feel about this design. I think it came out pretty nice. But ladies and gentlemen, that about does it for this episode. Expect me to get started on finishing up all the stone for the mountains here in the coming episode. And if you stuck it out all the way to the end, then you're the champ, and I appreciate your existence. And you know the drill. Until we see each other next time, have a good one.